This morning, I felt this ray of hope and optimism, and you shared that you get nervous when you would go down to San Francisco into a ethnically diverse neighborhood, and that you actually got in touch with those messages, whether they were given to you directly, taught you directly or not, or somehow that you felt how these things just started to come over you.
Why was that important to you, Tommy?
Because I just sort of felt that you finally connected with some feelings, and getting down here instead of being up here in the frontal lobes and analyzing everything and looking at everything rational. Because a lot of the fears or the anger isn't rational.
It's probably the looks that you get. I think that's where it comes from, the looks of the individuals. They stand on the corners and, what are you doing here, you know? And they make me feel unwanted. I think that's what I feel.
Yeah. That's what pickup trucks do. And guys with cowboys just sitting there, you pull up in the gas station.
Yeah. I know my feelings are very opposed to some of yours, and I don't understand why you have all this intense anger and emotions, why it's so difficult for you to just be yourselves and make your place. I think that's the big difference here. We white men don't have this camaraderie, if you want, that you coloreds have. Well, we don't go out and organize. We don't go out and have discussions. We just do our stuff, whatever our stuff is, I guess.
I see that we're living in two completely different consciousnesses. And, you know, and I think that I get yours, and that I have to be able to understand yours in order to survive. You live in a world where it's not necessary in most instances for you to understand my consciousness and my experience. It's like one of those parking garages with the spikes coming up. You know, you live in the world where when you drive your car past, the spikes lay down. And I live in the world, and the men of color here live in a world where when we come up to the spikes, man, they're facing right at us.
The thought comes to me, Victor, you're going the wrong direction. If the spikes are opposing you, does that ever occur to you that you're going the wrong direction?
That's a beautiful statement to me, that I'm going the wrong direction. It's a marvelous illustration of the consciousness of white supremacy.
Well, let's not say white supremacy.
That's what I want to say.
This is where, as you speak this analogy, and I'm thinking to myself, golly, why does it always have to be in opposition to the way things are structured? And I constantly sit here and think, why is he taking this direction? Why don't they as a group, why don't you with your people look for something within yourselves that can make you feel equal to us? Because what I hear is you are not equal. And I do not feel that.
So what's keeping you from believing that that's happening to Victor? Just believing, not to know why that's happening to him, but what's keeping you from believing that that's happening to Victor?
Because it seems like such a harsh life. And I just don't want to believe. I would assume, Victor, that your life is really that hard, difficult, and unpleasant.
What would it mean, David, then, if the life really was that harsh? What would that mean in your life, if it really was that harsh?
Well, that'd be a travesty of life. You have here something that shouldn't exist.
And so what if it does? What if the world were not as you thought, that it actually is happening to lots of human beings on this earth? What if it actually were, and you didn't know about it? What would that mean to you?
Oh, that's very saddening. You don't want to believe that man can be so cruel to himself or his own kind. I do not want to accept that it has to be that way, or maybe it is. And it must be because you express it and the others in the group express that it is.
from here I can work with you.
I do not find you to be an enemy. Aggressive and frightening when you become very animated and agitated, but
We spend a lot of time being nice and conciliatory and thoughtful and careful. I don't want to be excitable with you about it. I become excitable when I feel like there's no way for my humanity to get affirmed. If I can't say no with my whole aliveness to being mistreated or invalidated, then I'm dead. I'm as good as dead.
if there were some way that I could be of use and service to you, I would. I don't know how. I've never looked at that possibility.
I think how you could help me is to begin to understand yourself better. I don't need help from you or from white folks as much as I need a sense of fairness, which is lacking, and as much as I need a sense of awareness about this invisible protection that you have and this invisible privilege that you have.